JB, in your infinite wisdom of scheduling, I got this memo that said we have a 2 for the price of 1, as the screen says below. What's going on with that today?
Well, we had to make up for, a promise that we made in the preseason. We only had a couple minutes with one of these guests, and we had them on our radar, and, so far so good. They've improved to 3-0, best start since 2005. So we're making up for, some additional time that we owed this one guest. Plus we had to have on another guest who's really off to a very fast in his college career, already passing for over 1,000 yards. So we'd like to welcome in the huddle sophomore quarterback Will Bellamy and senior linebacker Jack Reilly of the Union Fighting Dutchmen. How's it going, guys?
Good. Thanks for having us.
Thank you for having me.
Guys, incredible start this season. Will, I think you're over 1,000 yards passing. JB had fed to me earlier, and that's a great start, no doubt. JB, I'm going to let you pick. Are you going to go with age or beauty, and which is which at that point to start the questioning here?
Well, I guess the easy question is always to go to the offense, because they did put up 45 points. But what I do want to point out, though, and I'll go to Jack first, is that you guys fell behind initially 10-zip, and everyone is always looking at these triple option teams, and they can keep rolling up the yardage and points. I mean, it's been a while since you guys have faced the Pride. You probably remember them from the Liberty League days a few years back. But tell us a little bit, what was going on with the defense when you guys fell a little bit behind early, and what turned for you guys that then shut them out for the rest of the game?
Yeah, I think when you versus a triple option team, you never want to be behind. I think that's one thing you want to keep. You want to stay in front on offense. So starting 10-0 definitely wasn't ideal for us. I think just as a unit on defense, we kind of just stayed together. Nobody really pointed fingers, and we just stayed to the game plan and wrote it out. We had a couple of big plays on special teams, and the offense started getting going, and then we started rolling from there.
Well, suddenly out of nowhere, this freshman receiver comes along that you seem to be, I don't want to use the words hooking up with because that would probably be problematic. So let's say passing well to in Andre Ross Jr. and 3 touchdowns, I believe, over 170 yards receiving by him. Is his presence helping you maybe even spread it around better than maybe past? Last year you had a limited amount of time behind the center there, or under center. But is his presence helping free up other receivers for you down the field, making it a little bit easier to put up these pretty epic numbers in terms of yardage and scoring for this season?
Yeah, I think last year Griffin Beal made his presence known to everyone we played. And having the asset of Andre Ross Jr. out there too, I think a lot of teams are keying in on Griffin due to his production last year. And having them on opposite sides of each other really opened the middle of the field up for me.
JB, remember we were comparing in our host chat show the idea of Maradi to Angeletta and Maradi to Twitchell back in 2005, 2006. That sounds like kind of what's going on there with Beal and Ross on either side. And how do you guard both of them, I guess, is the question, right?
Yeah, well, you really don't. And even though Beal didn't have the same yardage numbers, he did score a touchdown. But it looks like there's another player that we might be forgetting here, Frank, Ike Irabor, who rushed for over 100 yards and a touchdown. Definitely adds a little more balance to the offense if you can have a 100-yard rusher there to go with the passing attack.
Yeah, he for sure adds another style of explosion to our offense. We have those guys out there down the field that can stretch it vertically, but when you have a running back like Ike who can make a spark in the game at any time, it really takes a lot of stress off the offense, and it lets us spread things out a lot more easy.
Jack, you hear all this offense talk. I mean, that's going to make the defense's job a lot easier right now in terms of just knowing. And, the last couple of years under Coach Bierman, obviously the defense has been kind of the star of the Union College, the new Union College Dutchman scenario. You've been seeing. Your name was there for a while as just a player to watch. But now it seems like the offense is catching up to where the defense was thought to be. What's your feeling? Is that kind of a truism, and how does it feel for the defense to see that happening now?
Absolutely. The production on offense this year has been great so far. Anytime you're on the bench and you see him move the chains on third down, it's a great feeling. Get some more water, get some more air in you. But yeah, it's a talented group. I know firsthand because we practice against them every day. We go at it, and they are a pretty dynamic group.
And speaking of the defense, Jack, are you sure you're not like a defensive end? Because I'm looking at your stats here. You've got 9 tackles for a loss and 3 sacks already in your first 3 games. I mean, is this part of the Dutchman scheme where you're just constantly blitzing and crashing in there, or is it more of this the right place at the right time? Is it a little bit of both? I mean, those are some pretty impressive numbers just a couple games into the season.
Yeah, we like to try and be fluid on defense. We have a lot of linebackers that are extremely similar in size, strength, and speed, and it goes for the defensive line as well. So really, wherever they want me to line up, I'll be happy to line up. Rushing the passer is something I enjoy. So I guess stand-up defensive end, I guess, could be a title that I would take.
Stand-up defensive end, not a stand-up comedian, though, right? Yeah, that's.
We're going to get to that. We're going to get to that.
Well, first things first, let's talk about Curry coming up, a team that was handled, last season, was an addition to the Union schedule last year. The Curry Colonels have had an interesting go of it so far this season, and now you guys will be facing them. They lost to MIT 16-6, but beat Anna Maria 41-7 after an interesting close game to start the season against Dean 44-41. Tell us what you think we're going to see in this game. What kind of Curry team comes out there? I'm guessing you've been watching tape as we're recording this on Thursday. Is this kind of a pass-happy team, or what are we going to see here, Jack, offensively from Curry at least?
Yeah, so last year, Curry, they were a great team, great competitive team. This year, I think they're going to throw the ball around a little bit on Saturday. They try and establish a run also. I think we'll do a great job of stopping that. But as far as Curry, they do some great things on special teams too. So we really got to focus on winning all 3 phases of the game and hopefully come out with a W.
And Will, it seems like Union may have a bullseye on them for the first time in a while because, you can't hide 3-0. 1-0, 2-0, whatever, fluke. 3-0 right now. And a team like Curry that has had success in past years, past decade to a certain degree, comes in, looks at you guys and says, hey, you're the favorite in this game right now. For you as a young quarterback, how does that make you feel? And, does it intimidate you at all, that thought, or how do you handle it when you're stepping in that role right now?
No, it doesn't really intimidate me. Stepping up as a young leader on our offense, I try to preach for our unit to play with the chip on their shoulder. We haven't won anything yet. We have a lot in front of us to achieve, and we're still leaving a lot of points and a lot of success on the field. So we just go out of practice every day, and we try to fine-tune those little things so we can really take that leap from being a good offense to a great offense. So we've had a good week of practice, and I think we're ready to show up and take Curry on this weekend.
Hey, JB, 8-3 Curry last year. It was a 17-14 win for Union and a close one. So this should be an interesting game to say the least.
Yeah, the Colonels are always a tough out. They have a dynamic offense as they refer to, but it looks like you were talking about pressure. I don't see these guys really feeling that pressure, Frank. There was actually a tweet that we got from Carrie Lama after the 45-10 win, where we had a certain number of Dutchman players kind of doing the this, maybe a little this. I don't know, it was like a victory thing. They're having some fun out there, Frank. So what I want to know is what when the X don't give it to you, is that what's going on with that with the Dutchmen? Is this like a new team mantra? Is this because you guys are winning ball games and having fun as a club? Like what's the X gonna give it to you from Union's perspective?
That's our motto, When we step on the field, we're gonna give it to you. So I guess after we go out there and put in the hard work, we throw up the X.
Jack, do you endorse this new signal that they're pushing out there?
Yeah, maybe that might be an offensive thing, maybe the starting quarterbacks thing, but not too much on the defense.
So, I think it's a new school thing going on, though, JB, because, as I often do, I peruse the internet, and not in weird ways, but I use Google, which Widener's coach may be upset to hear after his little rant about Google this week. But, you look at old school a little bit, and you see, look, Jack Reilly, his 2018 photo, good tie, good combination going on there with the sport jacket and everything.
I would hire that guy.
Then you go to new school, and you go to Will Bellamy's, and
that bow tie, that's the new swag right there.
Tell us about this bow tie. Is this a prep school thing we got going on here? What is this exactly, Will?
I like to be different. I thought everyone was gonna wear a tie, so I had a bow tie. I thought it'd make me look a little spiffier or something like that.
Well, it's spiffy, it is indeed. But Jack, I'm with you. Except on the Stag Bowl sideline, I do not wear bow ties, so I'm with you. I like the good combination.
One thing I didn't really realize. I didn't realize that Will is from Louisiana, and we do things a little different down south. I'm actually going to a wedding in Baton Rouge next month for my
home of the Tigers.
My wife's. Yeah, that's right. They're going to be playing Georgia that weekend, and it's going to be should be crazy down there.
That'll be a great atmosphere. You should try to make it out there.
And as a University of Miami fan, I'm going to be now cropping Will out of the rest of the shot at this point in time because.
Sorry.
It's called time out on the Hurricanes. So, Will, I know where your prep school, Loomis Chaffee. I'm originally from Connecticut. I grew up not too far from there. But how does a kid from Lafayette, Louisiana, end up in northern Connecticut to go to high school? Was it a PG thing, or tell us a little bit about your backstory there?
Coming out of high school, I had a lot of the Ivy Leagues contacting me for my grades, and I didn't have a high enough ACT score. So my cousin, he was my leading receiver when I was a junior, Tiger Besh. He was contacted by some prep schools asking him if he would take a postgraduate role to kind of set him up for the Ivy League. And his coach just called me out of high school and kind of asked what I was doing. And I had like 5 Division II offers at the time. And my goal was always to earn a good education. So I kind of watched the path that he took, and their coach offered me a spot and told me they needed a quarterback. So I went over there, and just it's a very different experience, but it worked out for the best. I wouldn't take it away.
In fairness and equal time, Jack, you came from Bergen Catholic, which is a very good feeder school historically for Union and for many schools in the area. What led you to Union from Bergen?
Yeah, so at Bergen, the recruiting is pretty heavy. There's coaches in and out of the door every day. Coach Aldino was the one who actually recruited me when he came in, and I spoke with him, and I set up a visit. I enjoyed my time on campus, and that's ultimately what led me here. But going back to Bergen, they got a big one this Saturday against Bosco. So go Bergen, baby, beat Bosco.
Oh, wow. Yeah,
I was roughing a flag football game down in New York just a couple days ago, and somebody had the Bosco shirt on. I bit my tongue on your behalf because I know what's like that Bergen Bosco scenario going on there, although both have been great feeder schools over the years for Union and for other schools. Guys, at this point in time, it is time for shout-outs. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. My bad.
We got a senior. We got a senior on here. We're having a senior moment with Jack. So, you're going to be graduating at the end of this year, unless you got an extra year of eligibility up your sleeve, which we've seen a little happen more often than not. But you're from Jersey. We saw you look good in the suit and tie. I mean, what are your plans post Union? Are you going to is it coaching? Is it going to be going? You look like you're going to work on Wall Street to me. So tell us a little bit about what your plans are after graduation.
I'm an economics major, so I'm looking to go into finance, probably financial advising or wealth management. That's probably my plan.
I would listen to your spiel if you had that tie on. I'm telling you right now. Okay. So as I was about to say, it is time for shout-outs for you guys. We're going to let Youth go first on this one, and I probably should have my head checked for doing that, but we're going to do it. Will Bellamy, Shout outs are yours here. Shout out to any fans, friends, family, teammates, anybody that might be watching this. And, let's get our ratings up in Louisiana from this interview. So let's get this going. I'll make sure we push it out there somehow. Will, go ahead.
All right. First, I'd like to shout out Jack. He hosted me on my official visit here and kept in close contact. And he's like a big brother to me. So I think it's kind of cool sitting in this chair right now with him by my side and the success we're both having on the field this year. And secondly, I'd like to shout out my family. They've made sacrifices since I was a little kid to achieve my goals and to chase my dreams. And I can't thank them enough. And I love those guys. And also want to thank Coach Berman and Coach Nick Cascione.
Okay, Jack Reilly, show the young guy how it's really done here. Shout out time.
Absolutely. So I shout out my family last time, so they're not getting two of them. So I'll shout out my Burton Catholic family, faculty, the crazies, the students, the players this Saturday. You'll remember this game for the rest of your life, so leave it all out there.
Right there. That's what we're saying right now.
Fun. That was a good one. All right.
Oh, there we go. We got him.
We'll be keeping an eye on the Dutchman up there at Schenectady and tell Coach Berman we said hey.
Sounds good.
Good luck, guys. Thanks for joining us.
Guys.